The Bible is a timeless and revered text that has been a cornerstone of faith and spirituality for millions of people around the world. However, with the rise of mainstream media, many have come to rely on news outlets, social media, and other forms of mass communication to learn about and interpret the Bible. Unfortunately, this approach can be misleading and often fails to convey the true essence and depth of the biblical message. Mainstream media often presents the Bible in a superficial or sensationalized manner, focusing on provocative headlines and soundbites rather than in-depth analysis and context. News stories about the Bible frequently center on controversy, conflict, or scandal, rather than exploring the rich theological and historical themes that underlie the text. As a result, audiences are often left with a fragmented and distorted understanding of the Bible, which can be detrimental to their spiritual growth and development. Another issue with relying on mainstream media for biblical education is the lack of scholarly expertise and theological depth. Many journalists and commentators who report on the Bible lack formal training in biblical studies, theology, or related fields, which can lead to misinterpretation and misrepresentation of the text. Furthermore, the fast-paced and attention-driven nature of mainstream media can make it difficult to engage in nuanced and thoughtful discussions about complex biblical themes and concepts. In contrast, a genuine understanding of the Bible requires a thoughtful and reflective approach, one that takes into account the historical, cultural, and literary context to which the text was written. It involves engaging with the biblical narrative in a holistic and integrated way, considering the relationships between different books, authors, and genres, as well as the broader theological and philosophical themes that emerge throughout the text. This kind of in-depth study and reflection is rarely possible in the context of mainstream media, where the focus is often on entertainment, ratings, and clickbait headlines rather than serious scholarship and spiritual growth. Moreover, mainstream media often presents the Bible as a static and unchanging text, rather than a dynamic and living document that has been interpreted and reinterpreted throughout history. The Bible is a complex and multifaceted text that has been shaped by diverse cultural, social, and historical contexts, and its meaning and significance continue to evolve and unfold over time. However, this dynamic and adaptive nature of the Bible is often lost in mainstream media representations, which can portray the text as rigid, dogmatic, and unyielding. Finally, the commercialization and commodification of the Bible in mainstream media can be a significant obstacle to genuine spiritual growth and understanding. The Bible is often used as a marketing tool or a means of promoting particular products, services, or ideologies, rather than being treated as a sacred and revered text that deserves thoughtful and respectful engagement. This kind of exploitation can lead to a superficial and trivialized understanding of the Bible, where the text is reduced to a set of simplistic slogans, catchphrases, or soundbites, rather than being engaged with as a rich and complex source of spiritual wisdom and guidance. In conclusion, while mainstream media can provide some basic information and awareness about the Bible, it is unlikely to convey the true lessons and depth of the biblical message. The superficial, sensationalized, and often misleading representations of the Bible in mainstream media can be a barrier to genuine spiritual growth and understanding, rather than a catalyst for it. To truly learn from the Bible, it is necessary to engage with the text in a thoughtful, reflective, and nuanced way, taking into account its historical, cultural, and literary context, as well as its dynamic and evolving nature. This kind of in-depth study and reflection requires a commitment to serious scholarship, spiritual discipline, and personal growth, rather than relying on the superficial and often misleading representations of the Bible in mainstream media.